Welcome back to the Hindu View. In one of our previous discussions, I had talked about the concept of a single supreme god in Hinduism. So I got quite a few comments about this. There were comments around, hey, Hinduism is not about one supreme god because it has got so many gods. And saying that there is one god detracts from the polytheistic nature. Polytheism means many gods. Polytheism, the polytheistic nature of Hinduism. So I got a bunch of comments regarding that. And there was also one particular person who, or I should say, one person who remarked that Hinduism is not about God at all, it is atheistic. It has old schools of thought that are very atheistic. There is validity in that comment too, because Hindu schools have included, from some perspectives, schools like the Charvaka school, which is closely connected to Jainism and in relation Buddhism. So these schools were very hedonistic. They negated the concept of God. So to a certain extent, you could say, hey, Hinduism also had atheistic schools. So this question is worth considering and discussing. Is Hinduism polytheistic, monotheistic, or atheistic? In other religions, the answer to such a question would be very simple. But in Hinduism, it is not. Other religions have a very simple philosophy, almost primitive, and therefore things are very black and white. Things you can bucket things under specific labels and that they will stay there. But Hinduism is much more sophisticated. One of the reasons could be that Hinduism is, unlike other religions, it hasn't been the opinion of a single person. Hinduism has evolved over millennia through the intellectual churning of many, many, many generations. And therefore, the Hindu view is very nuanced and very profound. To answer the question on whether Hinduism is polytheistic, monotheistic, or atheistic, we would probably have to conclude that Hinduism is all of it. Now, this might sound ludicrous to say that Hinduism is all of it. It is like saying that in a room I have many people, but then I have only one person, but then I have no one in the room. The absurdity of such a statement seems very evident. But that is the beauty of Hinduism. And not just Hinduism, of probably any deep understanding of a natural concept. Take, for example, physics. If you were to look at primary school textbooks, children in primary school would be taught that light is energy and is in the form of a wave. But if you were to take the postgraduate textbooks or the viewpoint of senior physicists, they would very clearly say that light is a wave, it is energy, but it's also a particle, it's also mass. Does this mean that this postgraduate textbook or this physicist is confused? No, it just means that they have a deeper understanding of light than the primary school or high school student. Coming back to this question about Hinduism being polytheistic, monotheistic, and atheistic all at the same time, how is that possible? Hinduism, if I was forced to choose between one of these, I would say is monotheistic. there is surely, clearly the concept of one supreme creator. There is no equal, there is no uh, devil, nothing. There is just one supreme creator. But this supreme creator, as per Hinduism, manifests itself in so many forms. And therefore, every form can be considered a manifestation of the Supreme God, and therefore, it can be considered polytheistic, many gods. But then, how about atheism? Hinduism considers everything in this universe to be a manifestation of God, which means we ourselves are a manifestation of God. And if everything in this universe, including us, is a manifestation of God, God by definition means a superior power. But if everything is a manifestation of the same superior God, then there is nothing superior or inferior in this world. There is a unity of all things. And therefore, the concept of a superior power, which is a separate God, goes away. And therefore, atheism. So you see, this nuanced concept of God shows that God is, or Hinduism is, polytheistic, monotheistic, and atheistic. Now, if you have not had a detailed introduction to Hinduism, have not read through books, or even just thought through these concepts of Hinduism, this might sound ludicrous. This might sound like a whole lot of sophistry and wordplay to try to say that, hey, all of this is Hinduism is polytheistic, monotheistic, and atheistic all at the same time. Let me see if I am able to explain it in a simpler manner, which will resonate, which will give you the concept. If we were to take the initial example that we took of trying to say that there are many people in a room, there is only one person in a room, and there is no one in a room all at the same time, we said that it would be absurd. So let's take the same example. Imagine a room in which there is a very reputed surgeon, and in that same room you also have a physically challenged person. Let's say, imagine a person with a limp, and then you also have a newly minted, excited father of a girl child, and then you also have a very sober, a very mature chairperson of the local chess association, and then a person whose life ambition is to become a parliamentarian in that person's country. So now we see that we have five people in the room. But then, if you were to think of it as, if it so happened that the reputed surgeon recently had a baby and is the newly minted father of a girl child, and is also physically challenged, and heads the local chess association, and has a long term ambition of going to parliament, then you would say that these five people, that just a moment back we said the room is with five people, now has a single person in it. And this single person, if you were to go and ask this person, hey, who's in the room? This person is going to look around and say, no one else is in the room. So, poly became mono, and from the perspective of this mono, There is nothing else, and therefore it is A. Polytheistic became monotheistic, and monotheistic from the perspective of this person is atheistic because no one else is there. So, this is a simple analogy for you to try to understand how Hinduism thinks about God, the concept of God. And that's why I said that Hinduism is polytheistic, monotheistic, and atheistic all at the same time. Thank you. Thank you for joining me on this episode of The Hindu View. Until we meet again, you have a good one. Thank you.